Hey, Spoilers fam. Josh from Goshen here. Typically from Goshen. I'm actually on vacation with my family in Mississippi right now, but I've been editing this Dogma episode for a long time. We actually recorded it all the way back in July of this year, and I think it's just right that as I finish the episode, editing it here at the end of 2025, and we're about to enter 2026, I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone who's listened to our pod. And, you know, this episode took me so long. It was kind of hard. There's some challenges. I hope it's good. But more than that, I hope that you'll stick around with us in 2026. We got a lot of fun things to come. Love y'all.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Reynolds. Tell me, do you have air conditioning?
Yes, we have central air.
In every room?
Except the bathroom. Why?
Oh, well, you do know what that means, don't you? Huh? Move. No pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than central air. Pick that up.
Move. No pleasure, no rapture, no exquisite sin greater than Spoilers Podcast. Pick that up. This is Kevin Smith Spoilers. Let's go. Back in the game. It has been 7 years since I've tried to pull off a Kevin Smith movie with you assholes. Spoilers episode 172, Mallrats. If you dare, go back and listen to that terrible episode where we review Mallrats and everyone rips on it, and I sound like a turd trying to stand up for it. Dude. It's just bad.
Give me some credit.
Brett had my back, but
I love that.
Josh, I feel like that was a lot back then. Like Van Wilder had a similar energy.
Yes, it did. For old school fans, yes, those are very related. I think
the best
Pappy
pods.
experienced something like that with a movie that was special to your heart too, right? Right, Pappy?
Oh, Time Bandits?
Yeah.
Time Bandits is
that
way
doesn't
better
feel
than
good, does it?
No, it's not.
You bring to the forefront a treasure from your childhood, and everyone craps on it.
You should also mention this is not what you picked at the end of the last episode. There was some horse trading again.
I think what I actually want to mention is one of the reasons we didn't get along with Mallrats, and part of the confusion was that there's like two different versions of the movie we were watching. One of them one of them is absolutely terrible, and even the one that is like me and Brett consider good, a lot of you don't consider good. But anyway, let's bring us up to Dogma, the movie we're covering today, because there is only barely one version of this movie available for anyone.
And it's in 480p.
It's not streaming except on Pappy's servers. So
Don't tell I'm stealing from Harvey Weinstein, everybody.
This is gonna be maybe a little bit controversial question for like a movie podcast, but we're gonna go around the circle as usual. And the opening question is, just tell me like a notable early internet download you had, or download story maybe you have. I think that you could talk about maybe the first song you downloaded, an experience with like Napster or LimeWire. You could talk about a movie that went awry. Just fill in the blank. You guys can fill that out any way you want. But let's start weirdly west to east. Kylo, no one has had any notice at all for this question. Anything from the old days, the old internet with downloading that you'd like to share with the class?
Well, hi, Josh. This is Corey, Kylo Ren memes. I'm recording out of Simi Valley, California. And I started using Napster when it was a new thing, right? Before the Lars Ulrich controversy, where it was, it became illegal, I guess. And then something else immediately took its place. They found a loophole around that. But
Kaza.
When I heard about Napster as being like this way to download music for free through the internet. And that was cool, but I had like a 56K modem. So it took a really long time to download anything. A song, a video, forget about it. Like that took, ages. I still tried though. Eventually, like in a couple years later, it evolved into a few phases, right? It was Napster, then there was Morpheus, and there was like Kazaa and LimeWire. I used Kazaa for a long time in high school, and I went to download a movie. Obviously, I downloaded porn. I'm not gonna lie, but I went to download a regular movie at one time. I think it might have been like Clerks or something like that. And when I opened the file, it was the most horrific porn I had ever seen. Like, so disturbing that I won't even go into the details here, but I will say that, like, I immediately closed the window and was, like, scarred. Now, that being said, I'm not talking about anything illegal, so don't trip out.
Cool.
But it was immensely disturbing to adults. That was, it
Was
fucked
it
me
two
up.
adults in one cup?
No, it was like to me that is kind of funny. Like the two girls, one cup style stuff.
Hilarious.
Like if I see that,
Comfort
like
film.
I will laugh.
For film.
What I saw, I did not laugh at. It was very fucking gross.
All right. Well, no, I
But
think
not two girls, one cup gross.
The suspense is almost making it worse, which I think is Corey's.
You might be right.
Which I respect.
Yeah.
I respect it. Let's keep moving west to east. So I think that goes to Mikey then next.
Yeah, Mikey recording from Chicago, Illinois. I never used what was it, Napster, but I used LimeWire, which was, I feel like was the more sketch version of downloading back in the day. But again, I had terrible internet, so it always took me a long time to download stuff. And everything was labeled like crazy, like hybrid, like Linkin Park Hybrid Theory would be like in crazy font and shit. Like, so you wouldn't know.
That's true.
So you wouldn't know what you were downloading if that was like the actual CD or like getting pranks like Corey did or whatever you were downloading. But I think later in college I started using uTorrent, like an actual torrent client, and I think I started downloading I think it was Curb Your Enthusiasm, like all of the seasons that were out at the time. Like started it back at IU and then came home for the summer or something, and like I guess it like finished back home on the home internet or something, and we ended up getting one of those DMCA letters. I was freaking out because I didn't know that it was like still running in the background of my computer or whatever. And I think it was
Like a letter in the mail?
Yeah. So my dad was pissed, but it was fine. I mean, they never did anything with that, and I deleted uTorrent after that. But yeah, that was kind of like the end of me downloading stuff from the internet after getting one of those.
Well, it's hard to squeeze blood out of a spoiler man, I must say. So maybe they just dropped the charges.
I mean, they give you a warning letter, and that's what it was. So
Stop downloading shit. Okay, government. Sure. Pappy, you wouldn't download a car, would you? But what would you download?
I would definitely, like I said, steal from Harvey Weinstein anytime. This is Pappy recording from Goshen, Indiana. Not doing Leaving Neverland. Josh, I feel like you just want to breeze over that, but you pivoted a few times, but I'm glad you went back to the Kevin Smith way to face it. But yeah, in college, Josh, did you ever go to the Ashton Computer Lab? Was that there?
Well, yeah, that was right next to me. I had a class there.
I remember on like the last day of my sophomore year, logging into multiple computers and then just downloading movies illegally in mass, and then going around with a flash drive and collecting them. Like just kind of saying, fuck it. Like maybe I'll get a warning, like you said, Mikey. So like most of the movies that are now totally legally in the spoilers video folder come from that day, like 10 years ago.
What was the
Hacker
point?
man.
we must protect the archives.
Why the computer lab? Why not
So I could
just your
torrent
dorm?
multiple movies at once.
Multiple
No, I
PCs.
logged in on like 4 of the PCs, and each one was downloading.
But you have to
Hella
log in with
movies.
your username.
Oh yeah,
The perfect crime. You can't trace it back to him.
Is
Yeah.
the
4
computer, like
times.
fast enough?
not definitely not the one I had back then. It was just a shitty like PC, and I mean either way, it wasn't as fast as 4
With the
desktop
internet.
computers hardwired in. So the other story I had, Josh, was I remember Jane Bradshaw, when I went over to Matt Bradshaw's house, gave me a burned Weezer CD, and she was like burning it right in front of me, and it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that, and like downloading songs off LimeWire. And she said, "You know, guys, that song Hash Pipe, that's about smoking weed." And we were like,
Oh,
They related to Abigail?
yeah. A ton of
that's
kids.
funny. I would not be surprised if Jane learned about Weezer from someone in the Van Elk house. Not even joking.
Ah. Pay it forward.
I think I would be the next East, maybe somewhere in there. But Brett, I'm hosting this episode, so let's head over to you first. My brother and Kevin Smith, the one person I know will stand up with me again when it's a
Oh, yeah.
problematic movie.
No
You'll have
such
my
thing.
back.
Oh, wait.
When there's
First
a
of
little bit
all-
when there's a little bit of misogyny, Brett's there with me to stand
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
arm
just-
in arm.
big time.
Wow.
Hey, I'm putting myself
Misogynist
in
in
your
arms.
camp, I guess. I don't know. I'm just playing with you, Brett. But I know we went to college together,
Yep.
and
We lived
this is
together.
a little behind the scenes. We would often sneak on each other's computer. I don't really remember sneaking on yours, but I remember some of our other roommates. Lots of people had lots of stuff downloaded, more than I would have ever guessed. But Brett, this
I don't know
isn't
what
really
that's supposed to mean.
this isn't really about them. This is about your
Directions
memorable.
to Pleasureland, Elkhart, Indiana.
Map
Hit us up on
quest.
Patreon or on Instagram DMs if you want to hear more about what Josh and Brett's roommates downloaded in college. But Brett,
Oh, that sounds fun.
what did you? What's your memorable download story?
All right. So first of all, it's been a while since I've been on here. So just weirdly, 2 nights ago, I had a dream, and me and Jeff Long stopped a mass shooting. So you're welcome, dream.
Let's
Whoa.
go.
I know.
Wow.
And it was somebody from high school that I haven't thought about in 20 years. And he was like a holy bartender, if you know what I'm saying.
Did you use your gun in the dream? Were you
I
mowing
don't
him
know.
down?
We both were just they had came in with rifles, and we had just handguns.
Start blasting.
Let's go.
They walked right to the door, and we looked at each other, we're like, boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
They're coming right for us.
Again, I'm not making light. That's just what I dreamt about.
Brett, I imagine you guys like the movie Sidekicks, with Chuck Norris.
Oh, yeah.
Like the kid and Chuck Norris like teaming up against all these guys coming in.
Were you guys back to back?
No, these guys didn't stand. I mean, they just came to the door, and he was a couple feet away from me, and we just blew him to pieces, and it was over. 3 seconds, all dead. Sorry,
French
guys.
Coat Mafia, Brett.
Anyway, so I have a wholesome one. I have a couple. I'll do a couple quick ones just because I haven't been around very much, and then I won't talk the rest of the time.
Brett, you can talk as much as you want, but just when we say you're the Thanksgiving guy and you do like the bread, Thanksgiving, turkey,
Mashed potatoes and gravy.
My brother's already told me that was me,
and it's
so
fine. It's a symbol of love.
But
we love it. Go for
I
it.
definitely don't do it as much as people do nowadays, but I will do it now. So the first one, when I first got
Always a
Napster,
caveat.
when I first got Napster, I remember the first 2 songs my brother asked me to download. I remember the first song my dad asked me to download.
Let's
My
go.
brother wanted
Can
me
I
to download.
can I guess your dad's when it get there?
I doubt you're gonna get it. It's very obscure. It is like over 20 minutes long, though. If that's a hit for you. It's a very famous
I was gonna
holiday
guess.
song.
I know he loves Rocky Raccoon, that Beatles track, which I also like.
Oh,
so.
Alice's
Oh, I like this
Restaurant.
It is Alice's Restaurant.
Yeah. Let's go.
By Arlo Guthrie. That was my dad's song that my brother wanted me to download 2 songs that could not be more different. The Turtles, Happy Together, which is a jam, and Danzig, Mother, which is also a jam. So that was the
Dad
first song.
asking you to download a 20-minute song. That's like really pushing the boundaries of your internet.
Oh, yeah.
Computer starts smoking and sparking.
Yeah, for sure. Secondly, a funny story. I think we've talked about Bo on here before. The only person I've ever known that downloaded stuff in college, and he got in trouble by like, I don't know, FBI or something, and he had to pay $4,000 back.
Yeesh.
What?
So that's just, but Bo's had plenty of good luck as well. And then lastly, when we, like the first couple years I was in college, my brother and I lived together for a year and a half, and we went on
So
like
funny,
an epic.
Brett.
What, Bo?
He's also had good luck, so it's
Oh,
fine.
dude, that one crazy. Were you at that crazy Purdue night?
Dude, I know about Bo's good luck.
Okay.
I know. But
Yeah,
just generally, theologically, that's a really
Yeah.
funny thing to say.
So, and then my brother and I went on this epic, like, month and a half thing where we downloaded every episode of Angel. And then after that, we downloaded every episode of Buffy. And that's like 12 seasons of episodes in about a month and a half. And we watched it on my computer, which just, I can't believe we used to do that. I mean, obviously we watch stuff on a computer now, but this is not as good as that. But I just, had kind of like what Pappy did, but I would download a lot of stuff at night and just let it go. But like getting the audio to sync, like I wouldn't even watch it if the audio was bad. So like Mikey said, it was a crapshoot what you were getting. And we also did that with Smallville too. Just, it was good times, but like I wish to God that we would have had like Netflix and good internet, but we didn't have that.
But also, like, the internet was so bad at the time. I mean, at least for me, it never felt like it was good enough to stream, like, a show like we do now.
Like, the first time I ever got to college in the dorm room, I couldn't believe, like, because we had, like, cable internet. I couldn't believe how fast it was. Like, the apartment that Brian and I had was in, like, Josh's house where I lived there. It was a lot faster, but I doubt it's faster than it is now. So, I don't know. All good, wholesome stuff. That's all I've ever downloaded is good wholesome stuff. So
Holy crap. So we're
That's all I
at
got.
16 minutes into the pod. Hopefully true Dogma fans are hanging in there strong with us. We bring up all these downloads because if you want to watch it now, you either got to buy like $100 Blu-ray or download it or find it on YouTube.
I
But
think
anyway,
that's going to be changing soon, Josh. Kevin
got it
Smith
back.
just did a tour with this movie because
Yeah.
a rights change has happened of some kind. So he went on tour. Dogma has been in theaters early this year, 2025, or mid this year. So I think it's coming back soon.
that would be
yeah,
cool.
he acquired it from Harvey Weinstein, I believe, in 2024 or Miramax or whatever, Lionsgate or whatever it was. Yeah, so
We'll hope for that in the future. But as we record this podcast is kind of a timestamp for a time where the movie's just kind of like a snow leopard on the internet. Someone will try to put it up on YouTube and it gets taken down, or it gets put up on Internet Archive, taken down. Josh from Goshen here. I'm going to host this episode, but quickly, my first song download was by Three Doors Down, but no, it wasn't the Kryptonite song. It was Loser. And the
Oh,
beginning
yeah.
of the beginning of
early album.
Wow.
the beginning of that song actually has like some cool production, like this backwards guitar kind of thing going on, and it still gives me like a feeling from that time still to this day when I hear that song.
Good album, that first album.
I was gonna tell a raunchier tale about when my dad first discovered porn on the internet, but
When your
maybe
dad
say-
first discovered porn?
Like Randy Marsh.
When Brother Jordan first
Alien
discovered
fart
porn
porn.
on the internet?
it's a wholesome tale, but it's gonna have to wait for another pod.
Yeah.
Let's get into the movie Dogma. Pappy, I gotta kick it to you first because the first character we see is a Pappy. Tell us what happens to God Pappy right here at the top of the movie, please.
Yeah. We also get a couple disclaimers, which sort of set the tone for the movie. But yeah, apparently,
Dude,
this guy's
I knew
name-
you would hate those disclaimers.
No,
I like them.
it's kind of funny. The platypus is a ridiculous beast, right? So it's, I don't know, it's funny. And I think a lot of the controversy around this movie, probably things needed to be said. But yeah, apparently this guy's name was like Scott Mosier,
Scott Mosier.
and he's like Kevin Smith's friend. But he's just chilling, looking out on the beaches. I don't know, Corey, if this is somewhere near.
I don't think that's Scott Mosier, by the way.
Yeah,
you
this
sure?
guy isn't Scott Mosier.
But Scott Mosier's the guy making out with the girl on the bus, I think.
Oh, who's it?
I think this is the Harold from Harold and Maude guy.
Okay.
Bud Court, John Doe, Jersey / God.
Either way, a Pappy character, Josh, and the gang from Brink rolls up behind him
They wish.
kicks his ass with hockey sticks. It's a very sudden intro. We do see the skee ball strategically placed too, by the way. Check off skee ball sign.
Well, come on. What does this mean for the movie? Like, why is God being accosted by these hockey guys? Let's get into it, because I think for as good or bad quality as this movie is, this really does set the stage for why all the other characters can kind of do what they're doing.
Well, this guy is God. God comes to Earth once a month to play skee ball. Apparently, God can like change form, and so while God is incapacitated, it allows. I don't know if it's. Yeah, obviously the backdrop of the movie is Catholic, but it's not like necessarily saying that like this is the Catholic version of God, right, Brett? Like this is kind of like a more amorphous, I would say,
Yeah.
deity.
He borrows from a lot of different things in here. I would say that would be something. It's just kind of a generic.
Do you think God's a woman, Brett?
I think he's like Zool. I think he's like Gozer the Gozerian. He's whatever it wants to be.
I think what I'm looking for here, though, is that if they kill God outright, he goes back to heaven, could go into another body, has all his omnipotent powers back.
Right.
But if they just beat him into a coma, he just becomes John Doe Jersey in a hospital and he's incapacitated. So that's kind of like why, the angels later will get into it. They think they're just outsmarting God and they don't really know that God is incapacitated and otherwise would be just like.
Yeah, it'd be a short movie, yeah, for sure.
Dogma is a movie with a lot of lore, and I love Dogma, and I remember watching it late at night, Josh, at your house, like on IFC with Brother Jordan. But there's a lot of ins, a lot of outs with the theology and the rules and the magic system that is Dogma.
Well, it's a lapsed Catholic right in the movie. What do you expect?
Interesting point. Maybe we can get more to that later, but I wanted to make this pod, at least the first half of it, more about introducing the characters, and when we do that, feel free to spoil as far into their storylines as you want. It's the name of the pod, and also I just think it'll be the best conversation device we have. But Mikey, Kevin Smith decides to introduce the two angels, Bartleby and Loki, next. They're in an airport. What are they doing here? And maybe just as much as you want, just kind of describe who these two guys are.
Here's what I don't get about you. You know for a fact that there is a God. You've been in his presence. He's spoken to you personally. Yet I just heard you claim to be an atheist.
I just like to fuck with the clergy, man. I just love it. I love to keep those guys on their toes. Man, now here's what I don't get about you, man. Why do you feel the need to come to this place all the time?
Oh, my friend, because this is humanity at its best.
Yeah, Bartleby and Loki, played by Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. Bartleby is Ben Affleck. Matt Damon is Loki. We don't know those are their names in this scene. They're kind of just at an airport watching people come in from the terminal, greet their family and stuff, and Ben Affleck is explaining that he really likes people watching here because he gets to see people at their angriest and at their happiest, all in like one place. And he shows Matt Damon, Loki, a newspaper clipping of this new. It's not a new Catholic church. It's a Catholic church that's like, I don't know. They've got some archway that they're claiming will cleanse you of all your sins, and we don't know it yet, but these two guys are angels that have been living on Earth because they've quit working for God and they've been kind of cast out of heaven, and now they're sick of Wisconsin where they're residing and want to go back into heaven.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of lore. A lot of lore.
Yeah.
What's the two angels' backstory? Like, how do they fall out of favor with God? Because I think this is pretty interesting, and I think it's pulling from Catholicism, but also just like Greek mythology too, like kind of a combo or something.
I think this movie does a pretty good job. You guys could maybe disagree. I think the only bit of clunky exposition that we have in this whole movie is at the beginning. They've been together for 1,000 years and they back to back. Oh, I don't know why you mess with the clergy. I don't know why you mess with them. You know God's there. And then he's like, I don't know why you want to come to the airport. They know that. That's for us. But it's not too bad. But
I think that's hidden behind just like good acting and banter.
Well, I think first of all, watching this movie, I was like, oh my God, I forgot how awesome of an actor Matt Damon is. I think he's so good in this movie.
The cast of this movie is amazing.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's just like fun to be hanging out with them. So I think you forgive a lot of that, what you're saying.
Again, it doesn't bother me. There's way worse examples throughout cinema. So they didn't really talk about it, but they are both would be considered of the hierarchy of angels. They would both be considered actual angels, or you can call them guardian angels. Watchers are part of that. That's the lowest hierarchy. It's the lowest level of angels. And actually, in biblical history or canon, the Watchers did start to do bad things when they were on Earth. Like they would like try to have sex with women and stuff. So that is a little accurate. Again, the names are kind of nonsense. Bartleby, I don't really, that just sounds like a, and then Loki obviously is a Norse god. But so yeah, they are in Wisconsin. I don't know why they're so upset. They're still living off the glow of
Wisconsin's kind of cool. They act like that's the worst place ever.
Well, they just lost to the Broncos, Josh, in the Super Bowl.
Wow, bad time to be in Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean,
God's country.
And more recently, Elon just lost that Supreme Court spot he spent $20 million on.
Supreme Court? I didn't think you can buy your way to Supreme Court, but anyway.
Oh, for sure you can. The Wisconsin Supreme Court,
okay.
Just to be clear. But
that was a while ago, though. That was a couple months ago, I think, right?
Not by the time this comes out.
They're still reeling from that. As a state, Wisconsin. The Dells are awesome. Wisconsin's beautiful. Lots of great hiking. Lots of cool stuff.
My parents went there on their honeymoon, and they stayed on a floor that was being worked on. And they were the only room on the floor, and they had literally just watched the movie The Shining.
You ever been to a supper club? Those are fun. Those are all over Wisconsin. Some cocktails.
There's a lot of great things in Wisconsin.
I'd be willing to say that the construction people weren't the only ones running a jackhammer that weekend.
Oh, God.
Jesus.
Josh.
There's no God on this podcast.
Brett just brought up his parents' honeymoon. You expect me not to go hard in the paint?
Well, maybe since I'm on the pod and my brother is a patron and my nephew's a patron, you could have skipped that one. But I was talking about the trip, Josh. So Loki was the angel of death. He used to just rain down, kill people, all that stuff like that. And Bartleby was someone who just watched, but he felt bad for them. And just one time he told them not to do something, and then God banished them down to Earth to live in Wisconsin forever. Obviously, they can go other places, I guess, but they live together at a place called like Redemption Court or something.
There's a lot of actually like interesting theological questions wrapped up in this movie, and I think this is actually one of them. Pappy, take a stab at this, because I think Old Testament God is all about this fire and brimstone, right? So, So why is it so bad for an angel to be like, I don't want to kill humans for like a little while? Like, how does that all add up?
What's that line later? Isn't he like, you heard of Sodom and Gomorrah? Yeah, it was him. Yeah, I don't know. It's the God of the Old Testament is an angry God.
Jealous.
These guys seem pretty chill, honestly. They seem to be having just a fun time just fucking around with people. So, maybe he's mellowed out in the couple thousand years since he's been.
The Midwest will do that
down.
to you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy that, because I don't know if he ever killed people based on anger. It seems like it was a job he did for God.
Well, it's interesting too, because they're like kind of doing a 7 thing, but with the 10 commandments, but they only do it a couple times, right? Where it's like the false idol of the golden calf, which is like basically a Mickey Mouse stand-in type thing.
Man, if they would have continued down that thread, got to lust eventually and everything, all that stuff.
Isn't that like a theme in Kevin Smith movies? Does anyone know?
Movies?
Yeah. Isn't that like the name of the restaurant in Clerks 2 or something?
And that's where they go get the free internet, and Jay and Silent Bob, you are the ball lickers. You are the ones that are the ball lickers, yeah.
In Kevin Smith movies, like, he is, I don't know if he's one of the first, but I feel like he's one of the first to have like a shared universe among his movies, where the movies aren't direct sequels of each other. He calls it the View Askew universe, because View Askew is his production company. So in the View Askew universe, you'll see a lot of the same people or relatives of the same people. Like early on, we see a relative of the main character from Clerks. He's Dante Hicks is the clerk in Clerks. And we see his relative as a news reporter, which he has a different last name. It's like Grant Hicks or something.
Different first name.
The guy from Mallrats, the guy who's, I'm more like a jackhammer. That's Gil Hicks.
Yeah.
So
the three bros. And I'm pretty sure Kevin Smith has confirmed they're like related. They're all like brothers.
Of course they are.
Is it the same actor in each movie, or
yeah,
no?
it's the same guy from Clerks, Brian O'Halloran or something like that.
Brian O'Halloran.
Before we get to the main character of this movie, let's hash this out a little bit. What other in-universe things are you seeing? I love the one where Jason Lee later in the movie is like pushing one of the hockey guys, and he says, like, move aside, Red. Just like he says in Mallrats when he's like pushing through the people in the queue to get to the front of the line.
Oh, that's subtle.
Fanboy and Steve Dave are both at the...
Steve Dave.
Tell him, Steve Dave.
You fucking baby killer.
Yeah, they're at the abortion clinic. They're... obviously, I don't know, like, apparently the mayor, whoever who's talking, she was in Mallrats, but they cut the scene. So I don't know if that really counts. It's more of just the shared actors in this one. I don't know if Randall, he's the gun store guy. I don't know if he's like technically related to anybody, but
he's
kind of
got to be.
Role.
He's still playing like a clerk, basically.
That's true. He's sitting there listening to the worst. He's eavesdropping on the scariest conversation of all time.
I mean, it's a lot more compact than the Flaming Sword, but it's not nearly as impressive. It doesn't have that wrath of the almighty edge to it. Come on, how am I supposed to strike fear into the hearts of the wicked with this thing? Look at this.
Well, then, don't use a gun.
Lay the place to waste like. Yeah, well, easy for you to say. You get off light and raising. You get to stand there and read at Sodom and Gomorrah. I had to do all the work.
What work did you do? You lit a few fires.
I rained down sulfur, man. There's a subtle difference.
Oh, okay, I'm sure.
Hey, you know what? Fuck you, man. Any moron with a pack of matches can set a fire. Raining down sulfur is like an endurance trial. Mass genocide's the most exhausting activity one can engage in, next to soccer.
I got a subtle one for you guys.
Do it.
Yes.
When we see Jason Lee talk to Bartleby and Loki, and he's like in a toy store, he like takes him aside where like no one's around. Whenever I see a scene like that, specifically from the 90s, I'm always looking at the shelves.
Yeah.
Right? And the shelves usually have like some awesome 90s toys, usually the kind of stuff I actually collect in real life. But in this case, there's very little on the shelves that you see other than a couple of there's like playing cards and there's some Madman figures. And Madman is a comic book character from the 90s who I thought was exclusive to the View Askew universe. I thought it was made up for the View Askew universe, like Bluntman and Chronic. I actually looked it up, and it is a real comic book from the 90s, but it is like seen in other Kevin Smith movies in the View Askew universe, which is why I thought it was
J.C. Haney.
Yes, exactly.
He does the guy who was like the illustrator or something for the Bluntman and Chronic comic too. So yeah, the guy's like legit apparently.
Yeah. So, you know, he gets referenced here, that's kind of a subtle one.
I've always liked Kevin Smith. I know I shit on Mallrats, Josh, and I'm sorry for the PTSD that caused you. But I like how he's like out there too, right? In terms of like his podcast, and I feel like he's pretty unafraid to like give his opinion on things. Now, I feel like it's almost always positive, especially when it comes to superhero stuff. But I don't know. I like all these little subtle touches, the little through lines.
I want to keep stalling, getting to our main character. Pappy, fill the listener in. Maybe they haven't seen this movie. What's just like the production style and feel of it? We have these 2 opening epilogues. Just get us into like, I don't know, the color scheme, any sort of like directorial stamps you may notice.
Oh, I got one after Pappy.
Go. Yeah, well, I would just say, yeah, bright colors. I love the George Carlin part quite a bit, like the Cardinal and like the Buddy Christ, like just to look. I mean, it's like bright and silly and goofy. A lot of like kind of quick cuts and like sometimes like kind of an improvisational feel to some of it, like the George Carlin stuff, but not too much. But Corey, what do you got?
Well, this is like the golden age of Kevin Smith movies, like Kevin Smith's golden era. He's made some less than great movies in my opinion, but I'm a big fan of the man and his podcast. He's actually one of the main inspirations for me to do podcasts. So I really appreciate Kevin Smith, but what you have in this movie, in the golden age of Kevin Smith, is like the dialogue driven movie, right? A lot of the interesting parts of this movie, what makes it good is the writing and the delivery of the dialogue from the actors. And there's a lot of that, you know, like you said, Loki and Bartleby, they're very fun to watch, to banter, like just listening to them talk about things. They have a great dynamic. The writing is good. It's like quick, it's witty. It's kind of that like, you know, I kind of lump them into the same category, Kevin Smith and Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino from the 90s, like that kind of like extended scenes of dialogue that are still interesting. It's kind of like that era.
I would yes and that to say like, yes, I see some Quentin Tarantino dialogue-esque stuff. And I see some like seeds of big issues and like cool writing in here. But then where Quentin Tarantino is an excellent director, cinematographer, has like this look he achieves. I think Kevin Smith doesn't have that visual aspect, and it's kind of replaced with like maybe a self-deprecating silliness or something instead. I feel like that can be off-putting for some people. I don't know.
I mean, he's in the movie, so it's definitely self-deprecating how like goofy the character of Silent Bob is. I don't know. I mean, like Clerks is like when they're talking and musing. I remember it being like very pop culture driven, right? And like so probably how he talked to this. Well, yes, but it's also more like philosophical religion, you know? Yeah, like true. It's kind of like getting inside his head, and a lot of these conversations are just like people asking general questions like, well, why would God do this, or how can it be like this, you know? Almost like Kevin Smith working through stuff.
I have a question for Corey. In the scene where they're in the diner and they're talking to her for the first time, Jay and Silent Bob, and he's like, I'm like Han and you're like Chewbacca and you're like Ben Kenobi. I read that they do like camera transitions like they did in the is it Mos Eisley, the bar?
Yeah, it is Mos Eisley. I think that's really cool. But what I did notice is a little bit of problems with like the reverse shots, like the over the shoulder, where like this is kind of like really technical stuff, but like
lips not matching.
When someone does a slight head movement,
yes,
and then it cuts to behind them, their head is not in the same place. Things like that. I think that's probably because Kevin Smith didn't have his amazing cinematographer David Klein, who shot Clerks and a few other Kevin Smith's movies, but that guy now he's moved on to like doing Star Wars stuff. Like he's kind of big time. But I think that guy was a great cinematographer, and it's kind of noticed in Kevin Smith movies when he's not around, I think.
Yeah, that's a bummer for him that he lost the guy, but I guess it's good for him, the other guy.
Just a little extra trivia too to that is the trailer of this movie has that clip in it, but he doesn't go on to say, and we're in that fucked up bar. It's just, he just lists the characters.
Oh, dude. I got to add to that because you're talking about the trailer. I think the first time I saw this movie all the way through was the TV edit on like Comedy Central. And they cut away from some weird shit. Like, we're going to talk about a character soon, the voice of God, played by the late and great Alan Rickman. But it's revealed through him that angels and maybe other creatures from heaven, they don't have the genitalia between their legs. So he reveals that. It's kind of funny. Like, it's like pale, like Ken doll patch that we see at some point.
Yeah.
But
Kendall.
that is cut out from the TV edit. That empty space.
I'm as smooth as a Kendall. Like, he says Kindle, but he says Kendall, I guess.
After all this time, always.
Look, just take whatever you want, but don't kill or rape me.
Don't give over, will you? I couldn't rape you if I wanted to. Angels are ill-equipped. See? I'm as anatomically impaired as a Ken doll.
Or they don't even show him at all, like he doesn't even mention it? Or he just doesn't show it, Corey?
He mentions it, and it's like, I think it's clipped where it's like, you don't see the wide shot.
Well, Brett skipped forward to the diner scene, but we need to introduce the main character, Linda Fiorentino, Bethany.
You forgot to say Vision Quest. Linda Tortellini.
Tortellini?
Linda Fiorentino. Yeah.
Fiorentino.
Mikey, who is Bethany? Where does she work? What's her day-to-day like? What's her normal?
I can remember going to church when I was young and being moved. Now I sit there every Sunday and I feel nothing. I don't think I have any faith left.
Bethany works at an abortion clinic. I don't know if she's a doctor. I'm assuming she is.
No, she's a woman.
Has to deal with crazy protesters outside of her office. It seems like every day. She works with Janine Garofalo, who I thought was going to be in this movie a lot more. Disappointed she wasn't.
So is Kevin Smith.
She kind of explains to Janine Garofalo that she's kind of, I don't know why they get to talking about religion, just kind of like they're commenting about the people outside the office, and it snowballs into religion, and she kind of explains to her that she doesn't have much faith anymore in Catholicism. She goes, well, I guess we get back from a scene from her at church, and she goes that she's just like sleepwalking through the motions, and like everybody in that church was not paying attention at all. They're all listening to the radio. They're like screwing around.
I love that guy just rocking out during the homily, just having a great time.
And so she kind of finds herself not really wanting to go to church anymore. Janine Garofalo says, when you're little, the cup of faith is very small and it doesn't take a lot to fill up that cup, but as you get older, that cup gets much bigger and it doesn't get filled up anymore by just going to church. So she's kind of like at her wit's end with the Catholic Church. And she later that night she is visited by the voice of God, Alan Rickman, and has that conversation explaining her role in this movie.
Behold the Metatron, herald of the Almighty and voice of the one true God. Behold the Metatron, herald of the Almighty and voice of the one true God. Behold the Metatron, herald of the Almighty and voice of the one true God. Oh, sweet Jesus, do you have to use the whole can?
Who the fuck are you and what the fuck are you doing in my room?
I'm the one that soaks and she's the one that's surly and that's rich. Stop fucking crow.
Get the fuck out of here! Now!
Or you do what exactly? Hit me with that fish.
I love that the first thing you hear from him is just like an grunt, because he like falls into the room. I don't know. I kind of wanted to take the lead on this scene a little bit because Alan Rickman is the voice of God. I don't know what he's called. He's like a seraphim. What's the other word they keep calling him?
He's a seraph. Metatron.
A Metatron.
Megatron.
Megatron.
No, that's his name. That is his name.
But he keeps he is the Metatron, he says, and he's the voice of God. He says that if God tried to speak to you himself, your lungs would explode, your brain would implode. Like, we can't psychologically take it, so he has to speak on behalf of God. That's his job. He's been doing this for a long time, all the way since the time of Jesus. Like, he's invading Bethany's room, our main character, and so she like grabs a bat and is like ready to defend herself, and he totally pulls like a Snape move, like a magic trick. But what I really yes, what I really love about this is his acting actually blew me away when he was like explaining this to her, going back and forth between anger and like impatience. And then when he says like a fish and he's pretending like he's ad-libbing just a random object, something about his face and the way he acts just has me completely drawn in. And in a movie that has really bad acting in it, Alan Rickman being in here really stands out and is highlighted as just like, I don't know, couldn't keep my eyes off the screen, boys.
Can we talk about real quick the elephant in the room? I don't want to wait too long to talk about it.
What?
Can we finish gushing about Alan Rickman?
It's part of this, yeah, but it's like counter to what you were going to say. But go ahead.
I was wanting you guys to jump in with more good things about Alan Rickman, but if there's an elephant,
I love him.
What is the elephant, Brett?
Linda Fiorentino is wretched in this movie. She's a wretched actress in this movie.
Yeah.
She's worse than Jason Mewes.
Jason Mewes is the best.
That Alan Rickman, he's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, he's the best. And it's like, okay, you guys have seen Dazed and Confused, right?
Yeah.
She is that kid who puts his hand on his face, the main character, like the kid. That's how terrible she is in this movie.
She is like TS from Mallrats.
Worse.
And I think you got to put a little bit of this on the directing.
Yeah, for sure. But she's bad in Men in Black too.
I know it's not Alan Rickman's fault.
Was she supposed to have been taking like shots of alcohol on the side and they didn't show it?
Yeah, she seemed drunk.
That's what I'm saying.
I have an idea about her performance choice, because it is a choice. It's almost like this vibe of like, I don't care. Like, I'm detached from everything around me.
Too cool for school, for sure.
Yeah, too cool for school. And I think what that stems from is like the general Gen X mentality in the 90s. Like, that was just how like they were. Like, think of like the grunge scene. Like, they were all like aloof, like too good for this. Like, the kind of personality type that, like, I think that was what was cool at the time to be like. So I think she elected to be like a woman, independent woman of the 90s.
Does not work. She's just so bad.
Well,
I like this theory that Gen X is just bad acting.
That's what I was gonna say. It was like I
IRL too.
I don't think it's like she's a bad actress even as much as like it's just not a good character, right? Like, there's no first of all, there's no person who would be going to Catholic church every Sunday and be an abortion doctor. That person doesn't exist on Earth. So
I don't think she's a doctor. I think she just works at the clinic.
I mean, and she is just kind of detached and stuff, you know, like she's not giving a lot to work with, I think.
I'm just saying, like, Corey, I think what you said about her being aloof and too cool for school, but it's just constant. And then whoever said something about she's acting like she's drunk the entire time. It's just, it doesn't work. But I mean, again, other acting is so good. And then, yes, Josh, when she's acting opposite Alan Rickman, who's like one of my favorite actors of all time, it's just like super noticeable to me. It's really noticeable when she's talking to Ben Affleck. Like, she just keeps smirking to the side like she's smirking at someone off screen. It just...
She's supposed to be drunk then, right? She drinks all those beers.
Yeah, she is.
One day, God just stopped listening. I kept talking, but I got the distinct impression that he wasn't listening anymore.
How did you know she was listening in the first place?
Sorry, Josh. I just didn't want to wait too long. And yes, Corey, I love Jason Mewes.
I think if you're going to have a heavy expository scene like you get that extends for, I don't know, 6-7 minutes at the beginning of the movie, Alan Rickman is definitely the guy to deliver it, right? It's not just the way he speaks, which is already like super cool. It's just like little micro expressions that he gives that, you know, the kind of thing you get from a great actor like that.
Mm-hmm. It's the same sarcasm that works well in the character of Snape, right? Like the I'm kind of too busy for this.
Die Hard.
Authority figure, yeah.
Shoot the glass.
I like it. There's a moment I like when it's kind of at the end of their meeting when Alan Rickman is with Bethany, and she's like, "What's God like?" And like he thinks about it, and he goes, "She's funny." Like there's just the performance in that is like really endearing to me.
He's great in this movie because he is sarcastic. He's whiny, but he's got like so much heart. Like when it's needed, like when Bethany's like down or needs some goading, he's just got like a really tender side to him as well, and that's what.
Yes.
However, if you should decide to stop being selfish and accept your responsibility, you won't be alone. You'll have support.
What? More angels?
Prophets. In a manner of speaking. 2 of them. Look, I've got to go. Just trying to remember, we're working in a time frame here.
Hey. What's he like?
God. Lonely, but funny. It's got a great sense of humor. Take sex, for example. There's nothing funnier than the ridiculous faces you people make mid-coitus.
But while Bethany's leaving work or home, a couple days later, it's revealed, she's actually attacked on her way to her vehicle by Team X-Blades. So, you know, she's in a desperate situation, and 2 recurring characters in the View Askew universe that we all know come to the rescue. Snooch to the motherfucking nooch is Jay and Silent Bob. And I gotta tell you, man, I thought these guys were like the coolest people ever when I was in high school. Like when I was like 16, I really, really tried to like adopt Jay's vocabulary into my day to day because I thought it was so funny. So I probably annoyed the hell out of a lot of people. But Jay and Silent Bob show up, and you know, of course, they're pretty classic Jay and Silent Bob here. Silent Bob, he's all facial reactions, right? And I think he does a great job with those, like kind of like when Jay is saying something, like his like little subtle nods or like, you know, his pointing. He really like plays up like the nonverbal character that he is. And then you got Jay, the loudmouth, in your face, stoner, misogynist, creep.
But they are the foretold prophets, right? Like, as far as the movie goes.
Yes, that is what the voice of God said.
And Alan Rickman goes to pains to be like, one will be the silent type, the other one will talk at length, and you may not want him to. Pappy, are you still having fun at this point in the movie? You like these prophets? Silent Bob and Jay.
Don't do that to me.
No, because this is important.
I don't.
Yeah. I think we need to see both sides. Like, I saw this coming. This is like the biggest part of Mallrats coming back into this movie, right? It's the same two
You
characters.
hate this movie, Pat?
No. Listen, I think this is way better than Mallrats. They don't annoy me that much.
I need him in every. I need him in Kevin Smith.
Jay is so fucking horny the whole time. Like, he doesn't have a lot to say other than like wanting to fuck this chick. Doesn't bother me, but like that's the one joke that they have over and over and over again.
It works for me.
So me too, totally.
You could see it being. It is one note.
I think this movie is like, whether or not it lands for you, I think he is like trying to talk about like religion and God and like what is the meaning of life and all that horseshit. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like that it undercuts having them.
Well, you're making
in it
me
a little bit.
realize
It cheapens it a little bit.
if they're a one note with that joke, and they are, it works a couple of times, but probably the time it works best is when she's like, why are you even at this abortion clinic? And they're like, because we think there'll be easy chicks here. That's like an interesting, dark, actually funny joke.
It is funny. That shit makes me laugh. All I'm saying is like, listen, they have their own movie franchise already. At some point, it's kind of like a crutch to have these two guys, basically in every scene, just along for the ride.
But they're the ones that came out of it, like that. They're the ones that became iconic. More than
but a lot of people write funny movies and don't have the same characters in every movie. I don't know. Listen, I'm not even that mad at it. It's just not my favorite.
He's not that mad at it.
The more Jay is on screen to me, the better, the happier I am. I always have been like that. I've seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back like 30 times. I love it so much.
I have a question though. Okay, so like I think it's funny when they are delivering jokes, but I don't think it's funny that they like expect sex as a reward for like helping her in the parking lot. Like,
I don't care about 90s.
that.
Just find a different joke. Find one other joke.
It feels
That's
weird.
my problem.
But then here's what I think the difference is. Like, I think in Mallrats and in Clerks, Silent Bob and Jay, especially Jay, they are the cool guys. I feel like in Dogma, they're a little bit more of cartoon character jokes. They're not the cool guys anymore. That makes a big difference, right? Like, they're misogynist, but you're kind of laughing at them.
Listen, No Ticket made me laugh. That was funny.
Well, that's
No
a
Ticket.
classic line from one of my favorite Indiana Jones movie.
And has nothing to do with what I was talking about, but that's cool.
What do you mean? How?
Do you think when Jay says something misogynistic, you're supposed to think he's cool?
No, listen, I think they're funny. That's my whole point. Do I think he's cool? No, dude, I'm not fucking 16-year-old Corey anymore. But they're I don't. What do you mean? Like
Snoogans.
They're goofy.
$15, little man. Put that in my hand.
They do expand a little bit outside of that joke. It is kind of a thing they do a lot. Specifically, Jay does a lot because he's the one who speaks. But a couple of the little ones that definitely made me laugh were when they do defend Bethany from those rollerblader kids. He's like, "Take that, you mighty duck fucks."
Yeah. Oh yeah, that definitely stuck out.
Well, they were also like slapping the ground, like chop, chop, slap, quack, 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 quack.
They needed a couple more people for the Flying V, but what else got, Corey?
Well, when Jay's driving Bethany's car when they begin their
Oh,
journey.
yeah, that was funny.
What gear are you in?
What's a gear?
What gear?
What did you say? Like I've ever driven before?
Yeah.
That was funny, yeah.
The thing about that scene that I noted is that it helps make the movie more biblical because it's like the device the movie uses to make them start walking through everything. So they really have to like be like Jesus and start just like sandling around, I guess.
Yep.
We have
just like Chris Rock says, back in the day, me and JC used to walk everywhere.
I love how they smoke weed too. They're just like not sneakily at all smoking weed on the train behind the menu in the restaurant.
There's one time where Alan Rickman as the Metatron, they just introduce him as the voice of God, and Jay's smoking, and he passes it to Silent Bob, and Silent Bob, because it's the Metatron's there, is trying to duck behind like a newspaper and smoke. I thought that was really funny. But we have like a member or two left of the Fellowship, the 13th Apostle, Pappy. Just quickly fill us in on what I mean by that.
Chris Rock, the 13th Apostle. We get a nice shot of his butt cheeks after he falls out of the sky.
Several shots, different angles.
Yeah, lingering
If that's
shots.
him.
Linger.
Yeah.
Cheeks.
Yeah, he's the 13th Apostle.
Sorry if I scared you.
2/3 of me wants to forget about this and go home. Yesterday, I wasn't sure God even existed. Now I'm up to my ass in Christian mythology.
Let me let you in on a little inside info. God hates it when it's referred to as mythology.
Oh, well, then let's ask the prophets what we should call it instead.
I'll be honest, Josh. Like we've all mentioned, I haven't had as many sacraments as Brett, but I've had a few. And I remember watching this movie having grown up Catholic, and it honestly introducing things my 9-year-old brain may not have thought of, like, well, what were happening to Jesus during that time, right? Oh, Jesus probably would have been black based on where he was. Maybe he did have siblings. And like his character's the conduit to all of that. He provides a lot more lore, but I don't know. I like his character a lot in this movie. He's funny. Yeah.
I need to let you know a little secret. He hates it when you call it lore, Pep.
Yeah. Mythology.
Yeah, so he's a 13th apostle, and it's like his basic shtick is that he was deleted from the Bible because he's black. And I'm a black man. I gotta say, I think you should, of the characters we've talked about so far, you can rope him in with Linda Fiorentino as being pretty low-end actor.
Yeah.
Rufus the Apostle.
Not great at acting, has some great lore and some great moments, but I don't think you can't laud his thespianism here. So
Thespianism.
He provides cheeks. He provides some wisdom and a little bit more of a human. Like, all these angels are starting to freak out our main character, Bethany. So he's like actually relating to her maybe more on a human level, but they have one more character to pick up, and it's not an angel, a human, a dead human, a seraphim, or whatever. Who is it? Maybe it's better than all of them. Mikey, who's the last member of the Fellowship?
Oh,
it's a muse. It's
a couple of them.
Yeah. it's what's her face?
Salma Hayek.
Salma Hayek.
She's not a great actress in this movie either, but hey.
I was gonna say rope her into that group too.
Yeah.
Why are you guys? They're fine.
She's got a freaking.
She's
Oscar
great.
nomination.
She is fantastic in this movie. What are you guys talking about? She's nothing wrong with Selma ever.
I see no problems.
No complaints for me.
She should have gotten nominated for this performance twice.
I watched her scenes over and over.
My biggest complaint, honestly, was watching this on YouTube, and these actors specifically, it's really hard to hear what these people are saying.
Yeah,
I don't know I mean, everybody top to bottom. They're either low talking,
like the audio quality of the movie is bad?
The audio quality was like really hard to hear, and especially so dialogue heavy.
Yeah,
with a lot of this movie, so
she
really hard to hear, and she's got a really thick accent. Could hardly understand what she was saying. Just I don't know.
So what happened?
Writer's block. Can you believe it? Me, a muse, for God's sake. I can inspire anyone I meet and give out 1,000,009 ideas a second, but I can't keep any for myself. Her quirky sense of humor.
Whose?
God's.
You're saying God's a woman?
Was there ever a doubt in your mind?
He's always referred to as him.
Well, that's not how I wrote. But one of the drawbacks to being intangible is that you have no say in the editorial process.
Well, she did say that she influenced, I think, the 20 highest grossing movies of all time.
19 of 20.
Yeah, the 19 of
Except
the
for
20.
Home
She had
Alone.
nothing to do with Home Alone, which they don't name drop directly, but for some reason, I guess Kevin Smith had it out for Home Alone.
He seems like he really hates it, doesn't it?
Okay,
Yeah.
but as much as he talks about John Hughes, isn't that a little confusing?
It is, yeah.
Because he also has...
Because he's like sucking his dick earlier in the movie.
Yeah, he has reference... I mean, even Bethany's last name is Sloan. Bethany Sloan. So is that a Ferris Bueller reference? The whole reason Jay and Silent Bob came to Illinois is to find Sherman, Illinois, and like sell weed there, and then they realized it was just a movie town and didn't exist.
That was funny.
I also love the
That was
Judd
really
Nelson
funny.
thing. They
Yeah.
talk about who he is, and then he's in the next movie they do.
They go off about John Hughes, and then they rip on Home Alone. So, what have you?
Such a weird... I don't know if it's like an 80s joke, because it was more common in 80s movies, but I always thought it was weird where it's like, what does he say? And she shows tits, but not any bush. Like, it's an R-rated movie, but again, I was like, 80s? It was a lot more prevalent, I would say, in 80s movies, so I always thought that was kind of a weird thing, but now they read them all.
I couldn't honestly tell you what Selma brings to like the Fellowship.
Dude.
And really,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What are her powers exactly? What's the point? Why is she?
it's much in the way that she is in the movie Dusk Till Dawn.
She strips,
and actually the scene is really reminiscent of it. Right? She's just dressed up as like a different stripper.
Yeah, you're right.
It's like movie candy, I guess. But I'm not hating on her, obviously. She's a great person. Like, and there are some cool moments she has in
She's
this
smart. She looks really smart in this movie.
movie. Oh my gosh, Brett, shut up.
It's from Friends. She looks smart.
Okay, so that's the end of the Fellowship. We kind of tapered off there towards the end. But the person who, like, we talked about Loki and Bartleby earlier, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck. Turns out, Brett, who's the one that's been planting the seeds all along and prodding this whole literally like existence ending plot into the fray? Like, who's pressing all these buttons? It's not Lucifer.
Hartford, the whale. He only beat the Canucks once, maybe twice in my time. It's Azrael, the sneaky devil, who was an angel. He was basically Switzerland during the Great War, the Great Battle, or whatever it's called. He sat on the fence. So he would have been, or Dante had those in the Dante's Inferno. They would have been in purgatory or whatever, or the limbo. But
okay,
yeah,
slow down. Is that Bible canon or is that Dante canon?
which one?
Who is this guy? Yeah.
all the angels except for Bartleby. Again, I don't know where that name come from.
Bible canon.
But Azrael, Azrael is
You're
like an
talking King James?
Islamic thing. Metatron's an Islamic thing. So he's kind of pulling from everything. But a lot of that's from, I'm just going by what he said.
Right.
Or what she said about him.
So when Lucifer left, he didn't fight for either side.
He waited to see who would win. But
I'm playing both sides. That way
Basically.
he always comes out on top.
Well, the funny thing is this story about him is narrated by Selma, and she goes, and guess what side Jason Lee chose? No one's side. He sat in the middle, and Jay, out of nowhere, just goes, what are you, some sort of fucking chicken? I don't know why that made me laugh so much. It's like the second or third best laugh I had in this movie.
So then what happened?
Yes. What? Well, Lucifer just had to start his little war for the throne. Heaven became divided into two factions, the faithful and the renegades. Oh, the ethereal planes were chaotic with battle, angel against angel. And when it was all over, God cast the rebels into perdition.
But Azrael refused to fight. He remained in the middle, waiting to see who came out victorious.
What are you, some kind of fucking chicken?
Oh, I was an artist, stupid!
Jay's got 8 of like the 10 funniest lines. So, and the other 2 are, well, one of them is definitely Matt Damon.
I'm the host, so I'm going to take my other Jay line that I love. The Metatron at some point in the movie says, like, listen, Bethany, you are not just a normal person. You are the great granddaughter. Brett, if you say it before me, I will.
I won't. I learned.
It's like, you are Bethany.
Easy, Brett.
Bethany, you are the great grandchild of Jesus Christ. Like, how does that make you feel? And everyone's like, wow, that's crazy. And Jay just goes, so, like, Bethany's part black? Because Rufus had established that Jesus was black earlier. Man.
Did you see that? Did you watch to the very, very end on the YouTube? At the very end, when all the credits are done, that line comes up and he goes, so Bethany's part black? And then it just ends. It's really weird.
Bethany, you are the great grandniece of Jesus Christ. So that would make Bethany part black?
Yeah, so Jason Lee is the bad demon pulling all the strings, but I think we need to get caught back up, Kylo, to the angels. They might be like my favorite part of this movie, Kylo. We already established that we just like hanging out with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, but where are they going?
Well, they have a master plan, right? So they got to get to New Jersey, walk through the archway as humans, which means they need to have their wings removed, and then they'll have a clean slate, and then they can die and immediately be sent to heaven. So that's kind of like their loophole of getting back into heaven. But on the way there, Loki, Matt Damon's character, wants to kind of pursue his former job, which was like unleashing the holy wrath of God on the sinners of the world. And they decide the best place to do that is at a corporate executive board meeting for movies, which is kind of like a McDonald's / Chuck E. Cheese, maybe a little bit of Disney in there.
But they don't save it till then. They dabble on the way, right? They kill an adulterer on a bus on the way there. So like,
yeah, just to kind of get warmed up.
Yeah, easing in.
Yeah, they shoot Scott Mosier, unfortunately.
Poor boy.
Who is he's famously Snowball from Clerks, and he's has a body of work of his own. But I think the boardroom scene is great. And a lot of it's, like I said, very dialogue driven with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, 2 great actors and a very great time in their career, I think. You know, Good Will Hunting era, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. And they're sitting in this boardroom, and the whole scene, I think, top to bottom is really good, especially like the introduction of them. Like, with the first thing we see of them in there is Matt Damon, like, carving something out of an onion. And we don't know what yet, but he makes a little voodoo doll to kind of spook him.
Do you know much about voodoo? It's a fascinating practice. No real doctrine of faith to speak of, more an arrangement of superstitions. The most well-known of which is the voodoo doll. You see, a mock-up of an individual is subjected to various pokes and prods. The desired result is that the individual will feel those effects.
Call security. Yes, sir. Now.
But he's going through like the crimes of these individual boardroom members, and like the way it's delivered and like the switching off between the 2 characters is just really good.
Mr. Brace disowned his gay son. Very compassionate, Mr. Brace. Mr. Ray put his mother in a 3rd-rate nursing home and used the profits from the sale of her home to buy an oriental rug for himself. Heavens. Mr. Barker flew to Thailand on the company account to have sex with an 11-year-old boy. Mr. Holtzman okayed the production of movie dolls from materials he knew to be toxic and unsafe because it was, survey says, less costly.
Really fantastic scene, in my opinion. I think maybe the one failing of this scene if there is any, and this is kind of light, and this is something we also see later on, is that when they exact the holy wrath of God, which is basically Matt Damon shooting him with a chrome Desert Eagle .50, we kind of just like see the reactions to it. And there's a few times in this movie where something happens, like maybe a big action scene or a killing scene, and we just see people like reacting, like looking around the room. This is one of those moments. So aside from that, which I think is a little maybe overused in this movie, fantastic scene.
Got maybe my favorite line in the entire movie in it too. And I was just talking to Brittany about it earlier, and she said every time someone sneezed, she always thought of that line. Like when it's like, you're a good person, but you didn't say God bless you when I sneezed. Like that always, I think that's really, really funny. But he lets her go.
But you didn't say God bless you when I sneezed.
Loki?
You gotta think, like, while you're watching the scene on YouTube or on my Google Drive illegally, because it's owned by Harvey Weinstein, and we're seeing all of these entertainment executives, 60% of which have being accused of like sex crimes here, including like some guy who like goes to Thailand and stuff. I don't know. Matt and Ben are really good. They're really, really funny in this movie. I almost wish this movie would have just been about them. The more we talk about it too, I think the little murder spree thing, it's almost too short-lived, right? Like they do these 2 murders and then they like are told to go like more incognito, keep more of a low profile. I kind of wish this was the whole movie, because it's pretty fun the way too, like Matt Damon's fucking with them and the voodoo doll.
I love that you bring that up, because Jason Lee is kind of playing this like double agent, and he really wants them to pull off this loophole trick, this Catholic dogma loophole trick with the arch and getting back into heaven. He just, at all costs. So he actually does want him to go incognito. And Brett, for some reason in my notes, I had this like, I want to toss this to you. Like, it's really well done, and we're going back to the Matt Damon, Ben Affleck well again. But there's definitely a subtle change in the characters from this point on, specifically in Ben Affleck.
Yeah, and it kind of starts, they mentioned it at the end of the movie, it kind of starts around the middle when they finally meet Bethany.
Well, even when Jason Lee says like they have the last scion after you or something
right,
like that.
Yeah, and then they find out that people are after them and they want to kill him.
Yeah.
That kind of short circuits his brain a little bit. Because he's the one that's like wants to, and this is how they got in trouble in the first place, is he had a heart, like he didn't want to see these people suffer, but he gets more and more bitter as the movie goes on, because they were the first ones, the first beings that God created or whatever, but they've never been God's favorite, and he hates the fact that he'll forgive a person for doing anything, but it doesn't matter how sorry they are, they never get that benefit, and he just gets more and more bitter. And even Matt Damon's character kind of starts being like, okay, maybe this is a little too much. Maybe we should just go back to Wisconsin.
Maybe you just need a little bit of a nap. Those are some of my favorite moments of the movie.
You're talking about a fucking war on God.
No.
Well, fuck that.
Honestly, though, Pap, there's this part where he's like, I've heard a rant like this before. And he's talking about Satan. Something about the writing is a little hokey, but the acting is so good that it like totally works. And I can't believe in all my years of going to like Protestant churches, I've never seen like a pastor like play this scene, like about like the pride of Satan.
Probably the F word is to determine.
Aren't there some TV cuts? We've talked about this, right?
Yeah,
play the whole movie.
That's fun. It's good. It's interesting.
There are certain scenes where Matt Damon is like freaking humming, like he's just killing it. And again, Ben Affleck acts his balls off in this movie too.
Josh, don't you feel like if Stevie were here though, he would say, I wish the movie were just Ben and Matt and their journey, and then we can meet all these crazy side characters at some point on the way. and then at the very end, it's like Matt preventing Ben from crossing the threshold, like a total character turn. You know, like, isn't that a better movie than like having to like spend half the time with Jay and Silent Bob on a train smoking weed?
I do feel like following Bethany around is like the mechanism to give Kevin Smith like a microphone to talk about all his like religious paradoxal beliefs or something. What does just like kind of a normal relapsed Catholic think about all of this? But man, I hope we can talk about some more Matt Damon, Ben Affleck stuff because I'm loving it. It's the best parts of the movie for me. It's just so fun to hang out with those guys completely. There's like the whole gang. It all kind of comes to a head here on a train. Very pivotal scene.
Everybody ends up being on the same train. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Bethany, Chris Rock. Everybody's on the same train. And Bethany and Bartleby are talking, and she kind of lets slip that she's on this mission from God, basically, and that they're looking for these two angels. And Bartleby loses his shit and kind of takes her hostage. A fight breaks out between everybody, and Silent Bob ends up throwing both of them off of the train and doing the Indiana Jones reference of no tickets.
So I noticed it from this time I watched it, and I love this. I love all the train scenes, but when you watch it again, this is a pretty bad action scene.
Hey, it's very comic book-esque.
It's almost more like Batman 66 than a comic book. You know?
But not even like I don't even think they did that as well. Like it's a lot of weird.
There's two absolute gems that happen on the train though. One,
well, No Ticket is awesome.
Yes, and that's very memorable. But one is like as they just like fade into the car, you hear Jay just blabbing in the background, and if you actually listen to what he's saying, he's talking about mall rats, and he's like, we had that chubby bitch up in the rafters swinging around or something like that.
It's so funny.
You know, I haven't seen the Moron twins in a while. How about you? One time we were at the mall, right? We tied Tubby to the ceiling, and he went like flying through the air and fucking crashed through the wall. It's fucked up.
You two aren't getting into any trouble, are you?
Hells no, we're just about to smoke a fatty with these two suave motherfuckers just got on the last stop. This is Larry and Barry.
Hey, so Jay tells us you're gonna sleep with him?
But then what I also like is that when, again, back to Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, but when Matt Damon gets thrown off the plane, he's like, couldn't we just talk about this? I would have gotten off on the next stop. Like, he's totally becoming chiller, more Wisconsin, Midwest, like peaceful. But then when, this is what I thought was interesting, when Ben Affleck gets thrown off, he's like mumbling something I could hardly tell. And it's not in the original script. So he kind of like ad-libbed this, but he says something like, something Schuler Bob. Wait till next time, Schuler Bob. And I looked up what that meant, and it's like the German word for Silent Bob, and it's Ben Affleck's improv way of saying that he's come up against different Silent Bobs in different eras of time. So,
but it doesn't mean silent though.
It doesn't?
It's on the trivia. It says it means like something else. But
what?
And Kevin Smith famous. I'll find it. I don't have it up right now.
I thought it was silent, but I just like I don't know, thinking of a different Kevin Smith in a trench coat in like 1500s Germany, drinking a beer and fighting off Bartleby. It's just kind of funny.
Shoot him up! Get good for that! Kill him up!
no ticket.
Everyone's off the train. We actually get that scene now that we already mentioned where they get into the talk about like it's clearly Ben Affleck is flipping. He's turning into his own version of Lucifer. Matt Damon is questioning their mission. On the other side of it, Bethany is like really going through a hard time. She like runs into a river at one point, and Alan Rickman comes back walking on water.
Well, I wanted to ask you, Josh, as like maybe second, third holiest on the pod. Do you like this idea of like Jesus having siblings? Because again, I remember like being around this time and like this movie, then reading Da Vinci Code and being like, oh shit, there's probably like descendants of Jesus out there. Like, what do you think? Do you think this is legit?
Is this a difference between Protestants and Catholics?
Somewhat.
I feel like Catholic, it is dogma that Mary had no other children. Like that's canon, as you would say, Pat. But I think for Protestants,
it's on the wiki.
I think it's in like the King James or one of the versions where it talks about like James, brother of Jesus, and he like goes back to.
They do throw the word brother and sister around very loosely, but I don't have a problem with that.
Like
I never
in the
really
same way
cared that much.
in the same way that Always Sunny does.
Yeah, or like he could have meant like it was his Patty Mayonnaise brother,
bro. Yes,
Eskimo Bros.
Totally. But what I can't really come to terms with is like, let's say you believe that Jesus was an immaculate conception and Mary was a virgin and had him. Why does it matter if after that she had kids or not?
It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't get why people get so up in arms about that.
Yeah,
because the obvious reason of everyone, their brother's going to claim to be Jesus's nephew or niece. You know, that doesn't bode well if there's descendants in the family tree. My guess would be.
Why would that not bode well? Wouldn't that actually give him more of like a sense of placement in history and help people believe if it was like, oh yeah, that person is like, their last name is Christ. You could look up Christ in the white pages, and there's like 4 or 5 of them in your town.
Todd Christ. Yeah.
Chad and Todd.
Chad Christ.
Yeah. Oh, God. Karen Christ is coming in again. Just don't.
She's so holier than thou. Kind of annoying.
I know. This is a cool idea. I like it, Josh. I think it's fun, this whole part.
Well, I guess not everyone agrees because this movie was very protested.
By the Catholic League, they're not real. They're not.
I thought the biggest protester was actually Silent Bob
Kevin
himself. Yes,
I love that. That's such a funny freaking story.
It's a classic YouTube video.
Spell it out. What happened? I don't think everyone knows about that story, Brett. Just really briefly, as briefly as you can.
Oh, so him and Scott Mosier or whatever, they were at one of the protests, and someone interviewed him, and like he was just like, "Yeah, I heard this movie was bad or whatever," and he even says something like, "I like Clerks though." But yeah, he like ended up on TV protesting his own movie that nobody realized it was even him.
Well, you couldn't really Google him at the time, so it kind of works. But like he went to this protest specifically when he heard about it, and he made a sign because they all had signs, and his sign said "Dogma equals dog shit."
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
I feel like some people think there's something self-masturbatory about the combination of like him embracing the controversy, protesting his own movie, having like those like extensive disclaimer at this movie is a little eye-rolly. I think that's pretty easy to argue. But Pappy, we like to toss to each other ridiculously hard theological questions, right? Right?
Traditionally, yeah, we do.
Okay, I got one for you, and it takes us into the next part of the movie. But would you, if you were in hell, decide to stay there or do something to negate all of existence? Because as some of the characters realize that that's what's going to happen if they do this whole loophole through the gate, and then they die, and they prove God wrong, blah, blah, blah. it's not a deterrent to some of these characters that existence is going to be negated. And I just wonder where you stand.
Well, I stand Jason Lee's little devil horns are ridiculous in this movie. So if I had to look like that, I'm just blinking everything out, man. Like, there's no way. We gotta shut her down and restart.
So, like, right in your widow's peak area, if there are two horns poking out, that's just like where you end it. Like, you can't handle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two CGI horns.
I'm not.
CGI horns.
They look really bad. So
I think that's like
that'd be enough.
maybe a joke because he's not a real demon. Like, they made him, like, that's one of his punishments. He doesn't have a real set of horns or whatever.
Don't slime away from the question, Pat.
Yeah.
I'd probably
keep in mind you're in hell with Harvey Weinstein.
Right. He's alive.
I'll keep hell alive. I'll take one for the team. I'll do the right thing. I think
Harvey has his like little tennis ball walker, and you just have to tough it out with nothing, bro. That's what hell's like.
You're the girl in the picture. Okay, Grandma, let's get you to bed. To Harvey Weinstein.
No.
For the rest of time.
Harvey Weinstein eats your
Souls
liver
movie.
every night, and then it grows back the next night, and he eats it again.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, what would you do, Josh? I think you gotta stay in hell, right? Like, listen, I'll know soon enough. I know. Whatever.
Maybe you choose the path to stay in hell and hope God will see that good deed. But if there's no hope of that, man, it's hard to imagine that you wouldn't take a sweet relief. I think that's kind of like a cool, interesting part of the movie is that Jason Lee first decides that he just explicitly says no existence is better than living in hell. He's like, have you been to hell? Fuck you. But then later, Ben Affleck goes further and he's like, even just having to sit outside the pearly gates, look on the outside looking in, even not being in hell, is still like worse than non-existence. And I think that's kind of like an interesting thing this movie's saying, right?
Yep.
Anyway, Alanis Morissette's God, so that's interesting.
I like, but have we said like specifically the reason that things blink out is because if God says something that turns out not to be true, everything just kind of like implodes.
Yeah, since he's infallible, for him to be proven wrong or something that he, of his will, doesn't come to be.
I don't recall that verse in the Bible. Kevin Smith basically says like if God is proven infallible, that's like God being infallible is like the baseline. It's like the base atom of reality or something. It's like the building block of everything.
I mean, listen, anyone can call bank after the shot goes in. It's not that.
If you rip that rug out that God is infallible, then everything, the stack of cards crumble.
Like, the way they talk about plenary indulgences is not even remotely what that really is. It's not a clean slate. You're not forgiven of all your sins. That's not how that works.
It's not a get out of jail free card?
No,
What is
I mean, yes, in a way, but no, not like that. Okay, so
Let's go into it.
I'm not going to pretend I'm an expert on this, but
You're the
there's
holiest.
what it lets you do is it gives you what it's called temporal punishment, which is, you know how if you go to confession, Pappy, and the priest forgives you for your sins, but then you have to do this. You have to do 10 Hail Marys and you have to be nice to your sister for a month.
Yeah.
That, when you get plenary indulgence, that's wiping that stuff out.
So you have to get the sentence.
You still have to be forgiven for the sin before you can get before the plenary indulgence matters, before you can get that. So it's not wiping your sins clear. They would still have their sins. They still need to be forgiven by God or a priest or somebody But they didn't have to do, there's about like 4 or 5 different tenets of what you need to do for that. So I'm making sense. I know I'm not explaining it very well, but they'd be like, I forgive you, and you're done. You still have the guilt, what they call the guilt of sin on you, that you have to work to get that off of you. Like, you're forgiven for the sin, but you still have that, I don't want to say stank on you, but like the guilt on you, that the indulgence, the things, the penance they give you, you have to do that. With the plenary indulgence, it wipes that part out, but you still need to be forgiven. And they obviously, none of those people were forgiven.
Look, asshole. I don't know if anyone explained the rules to you, but if you succeed, everything gets blinked out of existence, even you.
Human, have you ever been to hell? I think not. I'd rather not exist than go back to that. And if everyone has to go down with me, so be it.
There is something in this movie that I don't like. I do overall like this movie, and I kind of just like the ride that it takes you on. We talked about kind of like the Selma Hayek character, Serendipity, the muse, and how she's not super useful to the movie. There's a moment in this movie where it involves her when we get a henchman sent from Azrael, the demon, because, Team X-Blades couldn't do the job. So he sends another henchman to like take out the heroes of this movie, which now include the muse. And we get this shit monster, the Golgothan. And I remember thinking when I was younger that this was kind of a cool scene, but rewatching it, the scene in like execution and in story, I think is pretty bad. It's not useful in any way. And I think there's times when the puppet looks good and there's times when the CGI doesn't look great on it. But it's mostly just like a letdown, because when it shows up, it like takes out a bunch of guys at the titty bar and we just see people's reactions, and it's way overdone how they react. It hangs on them for way too long. And then Silent Bob defeats it with his like breath spray, which knocks out odors.
Yeah.
I think it says on the little thing, which is, and Kevin Smith is a cartoon fan. I know he's a huge Rocky and Bullwinkle fan. The way he defeats the monster is like how you would see something from an episode of like Rocky and Bullwinkle, or maybe some other cartoon, maybe slightly more in the Looney Tunes vein, but it's silly and I think kind of bad.
Kind of bad.
I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate it so much. I think it's my least favorite scene of the whole movie. I hate the stupid shit missile he shoots that we get the overhead shot. It's gross. Dude, fuck this. I hate this.
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
Is it a better poop monster, this movie, or Spirited Away?
easy. Spirited Away. Better poop
The way
monster.
he kills it is Looney Tunes Bullwinkle-esque. It also kind of reminds me how like Indiana Jones shoots that dude who's like throwing those knives all around. But that's the weakest part of it. Looking back on watching this movie at late night Long's basement, Pappy, don't act like this shit monster flopping around wasn't one of the most interesting visuals and most memorable parts of the movie. No matter how brief it is, it's like 2 minutes. It's crazy.
What was the lore? It's the shit of other people who were crucified.
I don't know.
In
He's
Rome,
like,
the guy got crucified. All the diarrhea came in Golgotha, which was the hill that they were crucified at.
Kevin,
so there's some Jesus shit in there.
No, he was above that.
That's a very funny idea when you're super stoned, but someone's got to say no, dude. I think that's too much. It doesn't fit in this movie.
Well, Kevin Smith didn't actually smoke weed at the time of this movie.
Really?
Yeah. He didn't become a stoner until much later, till like well after Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Interesting.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno. It was during the production of that movie.
Yes, that he directed that movie. I never watched that movie.
I saw that.
Yes.
This is I went too far in a few places. George Lucas
But
moment.
the shit monster, it's made for the screen. Why wouldn't you?
It's kind of cute. It's
It's gross. Forget about plot wise. It's just like, a shit demon is being sent to stop our main characters. It's a great little side boss. I don't know what your problem is.
It's not good. You know it's not good in your heart. The one that I think is good is the confrontation with Azrael and the gang, right? Because eventually he just, as any boss does in like a video game or a show or comic or whatever, they eventually decide to take it on themselves, right? So he holds them hostage kind of in a bar while Loki and Bartleby go do their thing. So he says, we're just going to wait here and you guys aren't going to be allowed to leave to go stop him, right? And this one again is a kind of like Silent Bob rising to the occasion, as he does several times in this movie, right? He's clearly the superior one than Jay in a lot of regards. But the effect of him bashing open Azrael's chest, I think, is fantastic. And it's still kind of like weird and disturbing.
Yeah.
What did you tell him, Serendipity? To hit me with the golf club? Are you serious? I'm a fucking demon. And you'd have him assault me with a putter? You want to play? Then we'll play. One side, Red. Go ahead then. Pick it up. Call it a gift. Take your best fucking shot. Don't you know anything?
But I'm a demon. The reason he's able to use a simple golf club to kill a demon is because George Carlin, as like the head priest guy, had blessed the golf club. And no one had even said that happened explicitly. It was just like, he's the kind of asshole that would bless his own golf club.
I thought that was a little hard.
But I'm a fucking demon.
He was an asshole in this movie, though. I'm not saying all cardinals are, but he was definitely an asshole.
He did introduce Buddy Christ, which is iconic and cool. So I give him points for that.
Jesus doesn't want to creep you out. He wants to be your friend.
Yeah, he's like, we don't want our symbol to give people the willies.
I love that. And the little like musical cue when he says the willies, like, right.
Christ didn't come to earth to give us the willies. He came to help us out.
Just cute stuff. But the movie's really coming to a head here. The main characters all start descending on this church in question where George Carlin is opening up this dogmatic loophole. What happens when they stumble upon this church?
Ben, Bartleby, and Loki, Matt Damon, call out George Carlin, the Cardinal, and just start. I mean, the first person to die is a cop that like walks up to them, and Ben Affleck like snaps his neck. And then from there, it just kind of pops off. We see a newscast that shows a bunch of people dead. The Hicks guy dies in a scene in the bar when Azrael shows the clip on the TV. But
he wasn't even supposed to be there today.
Nice.
Damn shame. Everybody dies. Our heroes show up, and they're kind of trying to figure out how to deal with this. The Muse is kind of taking charge and attacking Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is just, at this point, like picking up random people off the street and dropping them. He's like full GT, like Grand Theft Auto 5, just going ham. Everything he's been wanting to do for the last 6,000 years in Wisconsin. He's letting
and Matt Damon's walking around with no wings. Not sure if he ripped off his own wings or Bartleby ripped off Loki's wings, but he's human at this point. And then Bartleby ends up killing him.
We've been glazing Ben the whole time, but that overhead shot where he's screaming crazily into the sky it makes my skin crawl. It's so cringe when he's like ha 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 after he gets his wing shot. Which, by the way, I don't understand this lore at all. Why did they just go through the door? Wouldn't they be cured at that point? Why are they fucking around?
Because, like Josh said, Ben's completely lost it. Bartleby's lost it. He's just mad. He wants to take out all these humans that God favors.
We see a real role reversal with Bartleby and Loki,
exactly.
which I think is kind of cool. Like at this point, Matt Damon is not on board with the killing spree that initially was his idea to kill the sinners, right? But Bartleby is just indiscriminately slaughtering people in front, and he's kind of getting drunk on it in a way, Meanwhile, Loki is actually drunk.
Yeah, and I think it's not only that, man, because Loki as Matt Damon, I don't think he's on board with this whole non-existence thing.
Right.
I think that's the main thrust. And comes to a head here with these two bros, our Goodwill Hunting pals. Ben Affleck, he's like, all right, I'm going to make non-existence happen. And it's very clear and explicit that Matt Damon in his drunken state is like, I'm going to stand in your way.
Hey! No. I can't let you do that, Bartleby. This has gone too far. I might have to take you down.
It's okay.
I'll do it.
Like a patriot. Genocide takes a lot out of him. He's weakened.
You're weak.
More importantly, he's also a human being. A condition which carries two liabilities. Conscience. And, short lifespan. I'm sorry, old friend, but you lost the faith.
Whoa, so does Matt Damon go to hell forever?
Probably, but they said that, remember, since he became human, he already went through the transmutation or whatever. It's almost like he doesn't get credit for it because once he becomes human, he becomes... I don't remember the two things that Bartleby says.
But he goes to hell forever. That's that sucks for him because he turned.
I used to think that, but I think...
It's possible.
I think even though he's drunk, his death is like a sacrifice.
Yeah. Okay.
How do they know the guy in the hospital is Jesus?
She figured it out. I mean,
she has a hunch. I don't
it's
know, man.
Not great.
Basically, that God Pappy person at the beginning of the movie, Bethany finds out that that's God in a coma, held hostage in a coma. She pulls the plug on him. This part of the movie's always confused me, but I guess when she pulls the plug, there's some sort of electronic malfunction that kills her and makes her bleed. I don't know. She gets this big cut on her stomach and dies when this happens. It's a little loose with the movie, but she dies. Silent Bob carries her. He's super sad, carries her all the way back like Hagrid carries Harry Potter back through the school.
Nice. He's dead.
And she's the new Christ character, so she gets brought back to life. But I think the last little surprise here in the movie isn't that it's a happy ending. I think we kind of saw that coming. The pregnancy issue with Bethany is hit on so much, and she becomes pregnant for a next last Jesus. But the last movie surprise I think we get is this whole thing with Alanis Morissette being God. Just wondering how that hit you guys in 2025.
It is kind of iconic in a way, right? Alanis Morissette is God. When I see her, I refer to her as God, sometimes jokingly. If you see her on TV or whatever. But to me, it's one of my favorite interpretations of God in a movie. Maybe it's just because I've this is a nostalgic movie for me. I saw it a long time ago. I've always really liked it. You know, it's like Morgan Freeman is like the one that everyone knows as like one of the famous God portrayals, and then I think this one is kind of up there. Maybe George Burns, but I don't know if that's, you know, an older movie.
People hate on it. I don't understand the hate.
If it would have been like, all of a sudden they're like, thank you, Nadia, thank you. That would have been stupid, but I think the way they did it is pretty cool. And she's like really quirky. But they were going to have like 5 other people be God, so I think it worked out better like this. And I like Alanis Morissette. She's pretty cool.
She seems like the interpretation of God that's like, oh, it's just an alien or something, like an all-powerful alien who created heaven and earth or something. Like,
well, there's like that childlike quality at times with Alanis Morissette's performance, right? She's nonverbal, but there's still like a childlike quality with some of the little things she does. And I think that's like important because God is not just this like mean, wrathful entity that we've been hearing about so frequently in this movie, and maybe that you might hear about in church, depending on which book of the Bible they're covering at that time, right? Like, there's a sense of, like, I don't know, love that you get from this character, right? With the way she interacts with some of the other characters here for the couple minutes we see her. I think it's really good.
I told you she was funny. There was a line it looks like they were going to have her say, which I'm really, really glad they didn't. She was going to say, when Bethany asked her, like, what the meaning of life is, she would say stuff like plastics and, like, you know, do her, like, wipe her nose thing. And they're like, oh, that's from George Carlin. I'm like, well, it's from The Graduate. I'm glad they did not do that. I think that would have been too much. Like, just a really random pop culture thing. Like, No Ticket, I think, was perfect, but I think this would have been like a bridge too far. Yeah, why are we here? She was going to say plastics while tweaking her nose.
It's kind of better that she just doesn't talk. Because if you hear her talk, your head should explode.
Yeah, like Ben Affleck.
Plus she's like Canadian and stuff.
The one kind of cool thing I get is like, that's Kevin Smith saying she's such like a good singer. Your head like explodes. There's something there. I don't know. Pappy, you're the only one that hasn't chimed in here. You like her?
Huh?
You like God?
Yeah. I love this interpretation of God. I think she's well, I mean, listen, I'm with you. I kind of wish she would have just broken out of the coma prison, like an all-powerful God. Like, really, like, life support is the one thing God can't overcome. Like, come on.
He
like,
never saw it coming.
Human form.
Yeah. Well, listen, I mean, none of that war is ever explained. Yeah, so it's just, well, but once she shows up, you know, yeah, I like her. I like the nonverbal God. She does speak at one point, right? And they all have to duck down and bow. So
that's the Ben Affleck execution speech.
So he goes to heaven, right? Because he got forgiven in the hug. Wasn't that
I don't think so. I think he was thanking her for.
He goes to hell?
Why wouldn't
It's possible he just got non-existed, maybe.
Because people say they'd rather end the universe than go to hell. Like, it's not, I don't know. That's crazy.
Yeah, he lost. He went to hell.
Movie, by the way, is when he says, I'm sorry, and then thank you. That was always my favorite part of the movie. I don't know why.
Good acting by Ben Affleck. Like, this angel, this being that has spent time with God, is like, that has been disconnected from God for a long time and then is reacquainted in the presence of the Almighty. Like, the way he, like, just gets on his knees and, like, tears up. It's really good.
Agreed, and especially because he's acting in front of someone who can't really act and is not speaking. He has to carry all of the weight into that. Yeah. It's pretty insane.
I thought it was also cool that Bethany and God look so similar. Like, I mean, it's canon in this movie or whatever, but because she's such a distant relative of God, but
I didn't think about that.
Kind of wasn't expecting, Alanis Morissette to show up at the end and then to see them side by side.
Alanis is a better actor,
Dude,
bro.
Alan Rickman aggressively grabs Bethany's womb. indicate that she's
I knew one of you would say that.
He gets like a little pinky up in there. It's a lot. I don't know.
Pinky up in there.
Bro.
Yeah.
Is it him doing it though? Is it like an insert shot?
The hand is ginormous.
I
It's
didn't-
got to
I
be
didn't think it
him.
was- I mean, maybe. Oh,
It's actually Quentin Tarantino's hand. No one else is willing to grab her womb as hard.
Quentin Tarantino's foot.
They brought him in. He wrote that scene.
It's like no one would choke her out as hard as Quentin Tarantino is willing to. It's his hands.
It's a lot.
Do your final thoughts.
Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be alone on this or if I maybe Corey. I think it's absolutely hilarious that when they're all about to die, Jay takes her. I know Pappy didn't think this is funny. Takes her and he's trying to have sex with her. I think that's so freaking funny. When he's like,
It's
"You
a
said-"
classic payoff, right? Like they set it up
Exactly.
super early, and you kind of just dismiss it because it's a joke. He's
Forget
like,
about it,
"Told
yeah.
you she was a slut," but then it actually happens, and I think it's good. Yeah, absolutely.
It also points to my theory earlier because it makes him look desperate. Like,
I knew you wouldn't like it.
No,
But-
he should. It makes him look loserish. Like, hey,
He is
he's
desperate.
not.
He is a loser.
Yes, he's not being the hero to try to save the day. He's like, well, let's get it wet quick, like before the world ends. It's like selfish move, and it is funny. It is funny, Brett.
Okay. I only noticed this because I read it, and I wonder if you guys noticed it. And I don't know, maybe I don't know about the on the nod, but like when they are in the bar with Azrael and the three Stygian triplets, have you seen like the wide shots where Jason Mewes is like passed out or nodding off? Like, watch it again. He was like hardcore doing heroin during that movie. And they used to have to cut around him. But apparently, and I don't know if this is bad filmmaking or not, but watch that scene again. He's nodding off in some scenes. And one scene is like completely asleep because he's on heroin. So watch that
Yeah.
again. And it's just crazy that they missed that or didn't think it was a big enough deal to move. But that's all I got.
He was a big time heroin addict at the time. He's been clean now for like 15 years. So he's like a
didn't he? I thought within the 15 years that he got like he broke his back or something, or was that 15 years ago? And he got addicted again because he had to take pain medication.
he's been
Because-
like straight clean for 15 years or more. at
Okay,
this
because
point.
they did Clerks 2, or Jay and Silent Bob was like his reward for being clean. But then I think he had like a skiing accident. But again, that could have been 25 years ago. And now he's got dentures and he looks so weird.
But what I was going to say is he went into treatment. I think it was shortly after this movie. One of the many times he went into treatment. And he went into a treatment center that my stepdad worked at.
Oh, wow.
So before I knew who Jay from Jay and Silent Bob was,
HIPAA.
he told me a story about his interaction with Jay from Jay and Silent Bob and how the guy, Jay, was just talking mad shit to my stepdad, who's like this huge guy, right? Because he's like, I don't know, he's kind of like an orderly. He's like Ben Stiller and Happy Gilmore, my stepdad. Like that was his role.
You're my boy now, Grandma.
Exactly. So he was telling me that like, I don't know, Jay was always like threatening to like fight him to like let's take this outside, you motherfucker. Like talking mad shit. But you know, he was in his darkest days at the time. So
Is that a HIPAA violation you just did for your stepdad?
I don't know.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm looking at this scene right now. He's slumped over in a chair.
I swear once though he's like out cold. So yeah, watch that again. It's crazy to see. I never noticed it before. That's a crazy story, Corey.
There's kind of some like editing around him where there's not more than 5 seconds of him saying a line at a time. You know, like he'll start one, then it'll cut to someone else, then come back to him to finish it. Like he was struggling.
Well, I guess at the movies table when they're out like at the playground, that he is completely like passing out, and like Kevin Smith was freaking furious. But that's all. I mean,
Were you finished with your story, actually, Kylo?
Yeah.
Yes.
No. I thought there was still a bit to go.
Well, yeah. We should leave it at that for the edit. It'll be weird.
There was something else. The key is still out there, but
nah, it's just a little bit, but nothing juicy.
Okay.
Do it again.
All right. Let's go in the reverse order, and I'll put my money where my mouth is. This is Josh from Goshen. I'll go first since I had the luxury to go last with opening questions. I think this is a huge yes for me. What I think is most interesting about this movie is that I do feel like it's wholesale blasphemous, but there's this weird edge where it's almost like pro God as well. Almost like if Catholicism was really cool, like if the new Pope right now was super cool, he'd be like, yeah, Dogma is like in the new canon. It's good shit. Like there's something about it that's like pro like good versus evil, pro believing in a higher power, pro faith. It's kind of like weird to see out of like this Kevin Smith camp overall. But thanks for having this pod with me, fellow spoiler man. This was amazing. Way more fun than the Mallrats episode of yonder year. But huge yes from me, Josh from Goshen. So going in reverse order, Brett, you're up next.
Yeah, I'll be quick. Yeah, this is a huge yes for me as well. Mallrats is definitely my favorite movie of his, but I always thought this was his best movie. Definitely one that holds up more. Like if you go back and try to watch Chasing Amy, it's kind of a slog to get through, but I think it's just good. I totally agree with what you said, Josh. It is like base blasphemy, but like it comes around full circle and you learn like a lot of cool things. There's a lot of cool messages about Jesus where he didn't like this and that, and he didn't like being forced in, just like Bethany. It's all, I think it's pretty well done. I mean, there's some mistakes on scripture and everything like that, but I don't think that he was trying that hard. But it's cool. It's like a mirror of like how he is. So definitely hard yes for me.
Paps.
Yeah, definite way hard. Yes, I don't care about blasphemy or whatever. It feels like a very just good message overall in terms of tolerance. And I don't know. It's also an interesting lane where I think at one point Kevin Smith says through one of the characters, it doesn't matter like what you believe in. The important thing is that you believe. And like, there aren't a lot of these like, you know, deists, like just believe in something type lane movies. Funny. I think I really wish it was just like Ben and Matt on a quest to go to like Boston, like back to the church or something like that would be fun. I know everything has to take place in New Jersey and a lot of things have to happen because it's a Kevin Smith movie. So I don't love those parts, but hard yes, Josh. Classic from your house. Loved watching it there.
Whose house?
Jordan's house.
Martin. Mikey.
I hate that part.
Yeah, it's a yes. Not a huge Kevin Smith fan, but of the stuff that I've seen, I think this is the best movie of his that I've watched. And it's blasphemy, but good intention blasphemy. I think
nice.
There's, like we were saying, there's a positive message to be had here of just believing in something higher than yourself. I think that's kind of like the big message of the movie. But yeah, I think it gets bogged down with maybe too many side characters, maybe a not so great main character. Jay and Silent Bob aren't like the most important part of the movie, and they're in it like pretty much the most. And your two best actors, Matt and Ben, are kind of sidelined. So if it was totally centered around them and all of the humor that we see in this movie is revolving around Matt and Ben, I think there's a much better movie here. And this is already a fun movie, but I think there's a much better movie that could have just followed those two guys. But yeah, it's a fun movie. Yeah, I think the most interesting part of this movie for me is like all of the lore gathering, whether it's directly from the Bible or not, but all of the excuses that these angels have about their stories and how they know all of these things about Jesus and the rules behind some of the Catholic faith, I thought was the most interesting part of the movie for me. So it was cool to learn. I don't know if it's real Catholicism, but it was cool to learn about this world's Catholicism in this movie. So it's
Catholic canon, according to Pappy. Do you remember this in the long basement as well, Mikey?
I don't know if we ever watched this. This doesn't ring any bells for me. This is the first time I've ever watched this movie, so I don't think
really?
I went into it blind, and so learning that these guys were angels like at the airport was kind of like, oh wow, this is going to be an interesting premise to a movie.
They're going to be nice people.
So that's all of the yes or no's, except for Kylo on the West Coast. What you got for us, Kylo?
Yep, this is Corey, Kylo Ren memes. I'm going to give this movie a yes. I really do like this movie. I think Kevin Smith's early stuff is pretty good. Some of it really good, maybe. This movie, I really like Chasing Amy a lot. Clerks is classic. And Clerks 2, I think, was also really good. I like Kevin Smith as a person as well. Like, I find him very interesting and just a great storyteller. I know he plays Silent Bob, but he actually loves to talk, and the man can talk for hours. And I think, again, hearing him talk was one of the inspirations for me to get into podcasting after I started listening to his. And he kind of had his own podcast before a podcast when he used to do these like college shows. Some of them went to DVD called An Evening with Kevin Smith, and kind of the names evolved from there. But those were like podcasts before podcasts. But Kevin Smith aside, I just think this is a good movie. Aside from some exceptions, which I've mentioned on the podcast, there are some moments where it's not great, sure. But overall, it's a good watch, and I give it a yes for that.
An Evening Harder, right, Corey?
Yeah, and like Too Fat to Fly was one of them, which was when he was too fat to get on a plane, apparently, a commercial flight. They wouldn't let him on. So he did a whole thing about that, but yeah.
Well, that's something we didn't talk about, like him and he didn't like working with Linda Fiorentino, and they didn't talk for almost 20 years until he almost died of a heart attack. And she reached out to him, and they like apologized to each other, and they're on good terms again.
Why? Was there a tea?
Yeah, and she quit acting at some point.
Well, he said once he didn't like her very much on the set. Then afterwards, he said that he wished he would have cast Janine Garofalo, which I think would have been better.
Oh.
And then that, like, I think that really hurt her, but they were already like not happy. And like once he had his heart attack, a lot of people that he hadn't talked to reached out. And he like felt really bad about saying what the things he said about her, and yeah, so they reconciled in 2018.
Kind of like a junior death corner before we head out here, because we do need to head out. But before spoilers does, we'll have a trivia. And whoever wins the trivia gets to choose the next movie game that we will all cover together as a big, happy family. Hopefully we'll have Stevie here next time we do the next movie game. Yeah. But what we're going to do tonight...
As long as it's not Catholic-centered, he should be.
I think it's the mess of the shit monster. He can't fit.
He's too recently ordained or baptized or whatever he was.
Next movie, Da Vinci Code.
Well, if Stevie's not here, it increases everyone else's likelihood of winning. Because if you win trivia, you choose the next movie, you host it. It's a huge honor. everyone's on the schneid. It's fair to say. Pappy, do you have any sort of order, or do I need to wing this?
You want most to least recent host?
Sure.
Break. I was most recent, right?
Okay. Well, no. Josh with Leaving Neverland.
What you mean?
Mikey with
Taxi
Blade.
Driver.
Let's go.
Stevie with There Will Be Blood. Stevie's not here. Brett with Brink. Pappy with what was it called? Book of Henry.
Oh my goodness.
And Corey with Battlefield Earth. Like two.
So what I'm hearing is that
So
Mikey's first.
Brutal Schneids.
And that Corey's
Mikey is
last.
most recent. Yes.
So
Mikey, Brett, Pappy,
shuffle
Corey.
the order a little bit depending on how
Why?
well you'll do, because we're gonna do closest to, but it's knockout rounds, so you just don't want to be last. And the one hint I'll give you is that the numbers will decrease as we ask these questions. So, Mikey, you're up first for this next question, so get prepared. Since 1999, the movie Dogma came out, the Catholic Church has canonized approximately X amount of saints. How many saints have been ordained? How many saints have been canonized according to ChatGPT since 1999?
Man, I know that there's some crazy saints in Catholicism. There's a saint of TV and production. I think just recently there was a saint of gamers. So I think there's a wide breadth that this number could be. So I'm gonna say 150.
I'm gonna say 149.
I didn't know about Saint Ninja, so I'm gonna say
No, this is like a cancer patient or something, and he was a big gamer, and I think he ended up dying, and then he ended up getting canonized afterwards. Just a normal kid.
125. I'll play the game.
Kylo.
Oh, I'm not last, huh?
You're last.
Oh, what was Mikey's answer?
150.
Oh, 148?
You and me are safe.
Since 1999, the Catholic Church has canonized over 1,000 saints. Pappy.
What?
1,000? Holy shit.
1,000 saints?
Yeah, I don't buy that.
I have it on multiple sources. One said it's closer to 1,500. Huge influx of saints under Pope Francis.
Book of Henry 2 ain't gonna be coming soon.
You just wait.
Wow.
It's kind of hard to look up. Check it out. Next, if there were errors in that question and answer, I think this one will be more straightforward. And I do have
all of you Cardinals out there, email.
Yeah, hit us up. Okay, so
Josh looked up the number of New Orleans Saints players since 1999.
The highest
big team
number that who said 150?
Me.
Okay, so Kylo, you have to go first for this one. You had the lowest number. Well, you said 148. Clerks, 1994. What's the runtime in minutes of Clerks?
I looked at this earlier, I think.
Obviously, the original version.
2 hours.
So, how many minutes? So, 120 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, Brett.
119 minutes.
Okay, we're doing this again. 119. Mikey.
Play to win.
Do poor man's next time, and we won't.
I'll say 115.
150 or 115?
15.
Clerks is merely 92 minutes.
Out, Josh. I literally was going to guess 93 minutes, and then Corey said 120. So I was like,
He must have looked up
I
Clerks
must have mixed
2.
it up with something.
Clerks 2 is longer, I think. All right, last one. We all know how big of a misogynist Jay is, but how many times has the word sex said in the script, the originally written script?
The original script.
How many times was the word sex said?
69.
Amazing guess. I hope you win on principle. Mikey, are you going to guess 420?
Do it.
I'm going to say 30 times.
Mikey, with the very realistic answer, the correct number was 23 times.
Ooh, good job.
What Tubi movie are we watching, Mikey?
Mikey,
back to back.
Back to back.
Everybody doubted me.
Mikey,
Master of trivia.
dude, you are the winner of the
Lover
next
of
movie.
trivia.
I'm going to toss it out to Spoiler Man to give us a little break, but when we come back, you're going to tell us what movie you're going to choose, what our next episode is going to be in this movie game thread, and then you can toss it out to the final Spoiler Man. Okay? Sound fair?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take it away for now, Spoiler Man.
Spoilers is now available on Audible. Be sure to check out Corey's podcast,
Big Dumb Movie.
Twitter.
Nephew Quinn.
Twitter. Okay. That was a huge, long episode on Dogma. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Thank you, Spoiler Men, for joining in. I'm going to bow out. Mikey, take us all the way out, man. Please.
I think we haven't done Starship Troopers, have we?
Oh, no.
So that's going to be my choice. Starship Troopers, a classic parody of the military.
Tons of bags.
Long basement.
Of sort of a rise of fascism in this society.
Highly political.
Yeah. A very interesting movie just for the subject matter and what surrounds the subject matter, I guess. How political it is. But to take us out, hot take. Is there any Catholic hot takes I can think of right off the bat? I mean, hot take. Hey, whatever's in the Vatican vault, if it's a UFO, I think they should tell us.
Yeah.
If Jesus is an alien, they gotta let us know. I think that's my hot take. So, thank you for joining us for Dogma Spoilers and Spoiler Man. Take it away.
Special thank you to our patrons: Matt Troll, Brother Brian, Nephew Quinn, Nick, The Meg, Nurse Stacy, The Wolf, Barky 420, PK, Spencer, Gale, Swole, Cheese Zombie, Sebastian, Dr. Lar, Stone Cold Austin, Shatty Daddy, Jimmy the Cricket, Optimus E, the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, Derb, Teddy Ruxpin, Druid King. Please check us out on patreon.com/spoilerspodcast.
So, that would make Bethany part black?
That was Spoilers.